lunch and Arbor marketing. For those of you watching on live streaming, Ms. Roger Rail is live streaming this at LA2M.org/live. Hi to all the live streaming folks around the world watching LA2M live. And thank you to VC Web Design. And yeah, Seen is back there from VC Web Design. They are podcasting this. So that's something cool that happens with our programs is we record them. So be careful what you say when you're a speaker, because it's documented forever on our website at LA2M.org. And everybody, just so you know, my name is Derek Marabon. This is Stacy Kollick, and we are, I guess, representing LAM today. I was in Vegas last week. I missed LAM. It was 80 degrees, 90 degrees and sunny, but I missed all of you. And I heard we had a great speaker too. So, okay, so just order of business. Stacy is our treasurer. LA2M is very, very close to becoming a nonprofit. Yeah, we got a note back from the IRS this week, and this is interesting because we're applying for 501c3. They say we should be 501c6, which is an organization that is organized around business, not so much a charitable organization. So I'm putting it out there if anybody's an attorney or knows about this, because if we're a 501c3, we can take donations, because we're supporting education in Nepal, for example. We might do more with education here. If we're a 501c3, we can take donations and actually disperse them, which is cool. If we're a 501c6, it's just a business write-off. So if anybody knows about that, come talk to us afterwards. We're writing a response, but to me that means we're pretty darn close to becoming one or the other, which are both nonprofit organizations. We've been going through months of paperwork. And Robert Shannon's not here, he's doing the census, but he's been helping us with that. Yeah, so we're very close to becoming an official nonprofit. And to that end, did you have a question?
On that subject, I can talk to someone on another organization.
C6, is that the WXW?
No.
Okay. 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 Yeah, there's a lot of, I think, 501c6s. So is that going to hurt us or not? We've got to figure that out before we write a response. But anyways, we passed the hat. So we do it old school at LAM. And Stacy's our treasurer. Do you want to say something, Stacy? I'm talking too much. Okay. Stacy's with dollar bill copy, and she's wonderful. She makes wonderful printouts like business cards and brochures. But she also passes the basket. So we have a suggested $3 donation if you want to give. It supports some of our hard costs, which we do have. If you don't want to give, that's fine. We won't hold it against you. Alrighty. So, okay, so just some other things. We have a LinkedIn group and we have a Facebook group. I encourage you to join both, okay? We also have a web page where everything is documented at LA2M.org. If you come in every week, you can register. We're building a pretty big list. We have a weekly email that goes out. So please join our email list. Please open the emails. We send out to 1,200 people. And that email is sponsored. Actually, Conor O'Neill's is sponsoring it this month. So Megan Crosby from the Chamber handles sponsorship. If you want to sponsor the e-newsletter, it goes out to 1,200 people targeted in this area. It's only $100 for the month. That's pretty cheap. That's four email blasts. And we're getting around 280 opens per week, maybe more. So just something to think about. We have, I think, some sponsors lined up. If you want to get on the docket, $100 for a month, in my opinion, is cheap. So what else? There's a couple events happening this week. TEDx Lansing. Is anyone going to that? TEDx Lansing? Roger's going? Great. I'm going. Anybody else? Okay. TEDx Lansing is going on at the Wharton Center this Friday. It's not too late to get tickets. Have any of you been to either TEDx Detroit or TEDx Ann Arbor? Right, yeah, I mean, it's awesome. And I'm assuming the Lansing one might even be more awesome because it's going to be involved Michigan State University, my alma mater, so yeah. And it's at the Wharton Center, so it's going to be a very, very nice event, a full day of activities. So if you want to go to TEDxLansing.com, get a ticket. There's no big application process. Anyone can be accepted. So, also this Friday is the WXW event, right? And where's that at, Megan?
It's at the Kensington Court.
Okay.
From 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. There's lots of workshops and stuff. It'll be a really exciting day. And men are welcome, by the way.
Right. So WXW Kensington Court starts early on Friday. How many people are going to that? Bunch of you, yes. All you women better be there. Yeah, and men too. If you want to go network with women for the day, highly suggested. They probably have a good food buffet and yeah, captive audience, right? Yeah. But anyways, so that's WXW, which I wish I could go to, but it's on the same day as TEDx. So Anyways, we did have an informed live streaming event here. Sorry I'm talking so much. We had an informed live streaming event here a couple weeks ago, which worked very well. So we'll let you know about that too. That's a good one for all the women in the audience. Inform is another very large women's organization in Detroit. And we streamed to Ann Arbor, which worked out pretty cool. We had a few LA2M members there. Laura Spence was there and a few other people. Okay, so with that, the format is our speaker's going to talk about an enlightening topic, which today is using radio to boost your brand. And then we're going to have some time for Q&A. At the end, everyone can introduce themselves, give us your quick 30-second pitch of why we should hire you or what we could do for you, etc. And that's how it goes. And so Kyle today is our speaker. He was actually scheduled a while back. And what happened? Something happened, right? Snowstorm, right? Yeah, it was like the blizzard of 2010 happened the day he was supposed to speak. So, Kyle Stuef from Arbor Radio. And if you can please give him a big round of applause to welcome him.
Alright, so I downloaded a new app this morning, and I really want to try it out. So we'll hope everything goes safe and sound. I'm going to be talking about using radio to boost your brand. A little bit about myself. My name is Kyle Stuef. I'm a graduate from Eastern Michigan University. Go Eagles. I originally, right out of school, started working with Arbor Radio in a sales creative role. I moved away from that and worked for a small branding agency here in town, and that's how I became introduced to LA2M. So I've been coming to LA2M for about a year. I've worked in radio for about 2 years now, and dealt with branding the whole time. So I'm going to talk about branding probably half the time, give some of my harebrained schemes and ideas about how branding should work, because it's kind of an idea that people have a hard time grasping, because it's not advertising, it's not traditional marketing, it's not PR work, it's kind of something that's all encompassing, and I'm going to try to get everyone to wrap their brains around it by comparing it to chocolate. So we'll see if that works. And my ad works. Pretty cool. Okay, so today we're going to cover what is branding. And like I said, it's a concept that's a little hard to grasp sometimes. And it's not, in a lot of times it's broken down to the visual aspects. So your logo, or your website, or your pleasing color palette. But I like to argue that branding encompasses everything. It's from the way that your customer service team handles complaints. It's the way that you answer your phones and sign your emails. It's the tone of which you talk in your blog or talk on Twitter or anything like that. It's all encompassing, and if I can take from my hero Don Draper of Mad Men, he said advertising is all about happiness, and I argue that branding is all about trust, because when you're branding someone, you're making a brand promise. And your whole goal is to get people to trust you enough that they want to do business with you. They want to feel comfortable with you before they know you, no matter how they came in contact with you. So that's why it's so important for your message to be branded and consistent, and you're putting out the right image that way. Then we're going to talk about how radio is built to aid brand recognition, because what good is building a positive brand if no one can remember what you're talking about? And I think that radio is built in such a way that we use audio, the theater, the mind, all these things to help make it easier for people to remember your name. And so if they hear you in your car or at work or when they're in the shower, and they may not be next to their laptop to check you out online, they're going to be able to readily bring up your name or your website or something about you so they can get in contact with you and they can do business with you. And then thirdly, we're going to talk about why radio works within your marketing mix. And I like to argue that radio, the way that it's built and all the different avenues that it can go into, can become, for small business especially, can become probably 90% of your marketing mix because of all the avenues it can go into. So, what is branding? And I put a picture up here of Dr. Pavlov and his famous dog experience. Is everyone familiar with Dr. Pavlov and Pavlov's dogs? Okay. We're talking about classical conditioning. So when Dr. Pavlov did this, I think, and it's been said by many people, that he kind of invented the idea of auditory branding, where every time that he was going to feed the dog, he rang a bell. And every time that he rang the bell, he gave food. Every time they had food, they heard the bell. He made the promise, and he had to follow through every single time. So how that relates to radio is if you have things like a jingle, or a music bed, or a voice, or something like that. Let's use Motel 6, for example. When you hear the strings, Tom Bodette, and We'll Leave the Light On For You, you know that's a Motel 6 ad as soon as it starts up. It doesn't matter what he says or what funny story he tells in the middle, that's a branded Motel 6 ad. And you get the feeling of comfort and down home, and despite what we know of Motel 6 hotel rooms, we have the image that they'd like us to have. So, like I said before, a brand is a promise to your potential clients, and it's something that you have to deliver on each and every time. Pavlov didn't give food without the bell. He didn't give the bell without the food. So if you promise great customer service, if you give it the first time and not the third time, you haven't fulfilled your brand promise. Your brand is also your handshake. It's how people come in contact with you. And that's why everything needs to be strong. And I said there, weak handshakes suck. That was kind of my tagline when I worked at the branding agency. We give you a strong handshake because weak handshakes suck. It's how they come in contact with you. You want them to feel comfortable with you. And so if they get the idea that maybe you are this big company where you're going to just be a number in their system, they're not going to get the one-on-one attention that they want, and that's entirely different than the brand you're trying to put out there. You need to figure out where that weak point is and attack it. And the thing that I really like about branding is a brand can craft how people feel about you. And if there's a disconnect between your actual company and the brand you've created for your company, disconnect breeds distrust. And if there's no trust, there's no business. And if there's no business, you get boarded up windows. I like to say that you're crafting how people feel about you, and maybe this lends itself to psychology and Dr. Pavlov again. But I worked with a chiropractor here in town, and before he even opened, we were handling everything from his interior design to his website to his promotion to everything, and building his brand digitally before he had a single patient in the door. We got a call about a week before we opened from a financial planner who thought he had stumbled onto a gold mine of a practice that he didn't know didn't have any members yet. So he took us out to lunch and wined and dined us, and at the end of it, we told him that we were opening in a week, and his jaw about fell to the floor. So we had crafted our brand and our image to what we thought people should feel about us, and it was a pretty good indicator that we had done a good job of that. This is my secret formula. So don't take any screenshots or post this online. It's pretty top secret stuff. Roger, if you want to turn off the video. Step one is to decide on your brand promise. I think the easiest example is to say, we have great customer service. You're going to feel like you're part of the team. We are taking care of you and only you. There's no one else that we care about. You're number one. So we decide on it, and then we make our brand promise. We shout it from the rooftops. We get on top of the mountain. We get on top of Twitter and say whatever we feel like. And then the third step is you need to deliver on what you promised. And I put the little side arrow there is because this becomes cyclical. Every time that someone comes in contact with you, you're remaking your brand promise, and then you have to re-deliver on it. Like I said, if you have 5 great experiences, it only takes one bad experience to erase what they felt about you, the brand that you had taken the time to construct. Here's where chocolate comes in. I think I need to say right now, this is a Kyle Stuef branding theory. This is not sponsored by Arbor Radio or reflect any thoughts or feelings of Cumulus Broadcasting in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you very much. A brand is like a box of chocolates and not like Forrest Gump. I think that there are 3 main components to building your brand when you're starting to plan everything. First is the appeal. Second is the goods, and the third is the flow. And kind of the snapshot is the appeal is your outer dressing, what draws people in. The goods is your product and your service. And the flow is how easy it is for people to get. It's how friendly your secretary is, or it's making sure that they have a positive experience with your company throughout the whole process of getting to your goods or your goodies that we want. And this picture looked a lot more appetizing when I put this together, but it's not looking so hot right now. This is a cross-section of a piece of chocolate where you can see the outer chocolate shell as the appeal, and then the insides as the goods and the flow. So if you were to go back and look at a box of chocolates, if you're looking at it from overhead, think of this as your marketplace, and you can pick any one of those chocolates, and that can be your company. So as a potential customer or client is looking at your marketplace or your box of chocolates, from a distance, everything is going to look pretty similar. It's all candy, there's all sugar, it all makes you feel good when you're having a bad day. That's all there. So what would draw people to you? And that's where the appeal comes in as part of your brand, is your outer shell. And these are things like a good name, a good logo, a good website, a great business card, anything that I've listed there. That's what sets you apart from the outside. You're starting to build trust. You're making your brand promises. You're getting people to choose you out of the box and take a bite and see what's inside. So if they hate coconut, and you've promised that there's no coconut on the inside, you're a cream filling, and they bite into you and there's a little bit of coconut in there, you haven't delivered on your brand promise. The next part is the goods. This is why you got into business. This is what you do. You didn't, unless you're a bookkeeper, I should put that out there. You didn't get into your business to monitor your books and make sure that everyone's getting paid and paying your taxes and things like that. You got into it because you want to make the best Thai food that Wisconsin has ever seen. That's your passion, and this is where your passion lies, is your goods, your product, your service. It also encompasses things that come with your product and service, like warranties, quality of pricing, things like that, that all come as part of the package. So if you've made a promise of a great warranty that's a lifetime and encompasses everything no matter what, we're just going to take care of it, and then they have a really hard time getting you to make good on it, you haven't delivered on your brand promise that the appeal brought them to the goods, and now they're feeling a disconnect. And the third part is the flow, which I said is how people get to the goods. These are things like customer service, your sales representatives, a purchasing experience that they had with you, and even you yourself. I mean, you're making things easier for them. We want them to trust you. Don Draper wants you to be happy, and I want you to trust. So, we've gotten through Kyle's branding theory, and now we're going to get to the actual radio meat and potatoes of it. If a brand falls in the forest, shouldn't have used the sound. So it would say, if a brand were to fail, shouldn't have tried radio before it. And a stat here from Cambridge University study says, information delivered via music is learned up to 60 times faster and retained up to 100 times longer than the same information delivered by speech alone. We all know that because we've been taught that since the beginning of time. When you say your ABCs, do you have a little song going in your head as you're going through them? Can you say the words "The Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" without that same song? These are things that we've learned, and they've been attached to music, and they've been so ingrained in our head that this study just kind of makes perfect sense. So if you guys could finish or fill in these blanks for me, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I know. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Now I have a question for you. When you filled in the blanks, did you sing the song in your head? Absolutely. These are all techniques that were put through, and those were things that started exclusively on radio. So they were taken to TV and other things, but we're going to talk about radio. So radio's role in your marketing mix. There are 4 things that I like about radio. I guess there's a lot of things that I like about radio, but these are the top 4 things. Radio's present in your everyday life. When there's bad weather, when there is traffic, when there is a news story you want to find out, let's take out news because now we have online. But normally the first thing you do is you turn on your radio. You see traffic coming up ahead, you turn into W4 Country and see what Adam Ray has to say about it. And it's a connection that we have. It's a one-sided connection with our radio, where we feel like we know our DJs, we know everything about them. We know Martin Van Dyke has 2 cats, and he loves to work with the Humane Society. Martin Van Dyke doesn't know anything about us, but we feel like we have this friendship with him. And the nice thing about radio is we can play on those relationships and that trust that's already built in. We've already gotten halfway there when we're telling our message for the first time. The other thing I like is radio is an active media. Like I said, I worked with a branding agency before, and we did a lot of online and print work. And a lot of times I would be frustrated because I wasn't able to tell my whole story simply with visuals. And that comes down to number 4, where I talk about the theater of the mind. When we're using exclusively audio, you fill in all the blanks in your head. So when I'm listening to the radio and someone's talking, they're talking to me. If there's a story in the commercial, that story is starring this guy. You know, I do all the casting and the directing. I build the picture in my head. I use the words, but I use my imagination to fill in the rest. I really like that about radio. And then radio lends itself to brand recall. We just did a little experiment here with Folgers and State Farm, where we can see that that's true. I really like this example. It didn't show up so well, but that is a Pizza Hut logo on stage at Broadway. So, on your left, you would see a normal classified ad for a job posting. It says, "Drivers wanted. Pizza Hut is currently seeking delivery drivers for its Ann Arbor stores. Weekends and evenings required. Must have a clean driver record, great pay, no experience necessary," and then all of the lovely contact information at the bottom. If someone's not looking for a job, or if they're in a job right now and they're a good worker, but they'd be open to other options, this may not be something that they find unless they're looking in that paper, in that spot, for that classified. The thing that I like about radio is we're able to engage people in their everyday life. We're reaching people who are the good workers because they already have the jobs, if that makes sense. You don't want the people who are perpetually unemployed and things like that when they're looking for qualified job seekers. But I wanted to show you a little contrast of how we can deliver the same message through audio and make it connect a little more, make it have a little more emotion. So let's see if the sound works. Just learn to read. You gotta go with the flow, so to say. So let's just go. It's so easy.
Meet Doug Hill. He's making up to $12 an hour doing this. He has flexible hours, has received plenty of training for his job, and is obviously enjoying himself. So how did he get this gig? Well, he went to Pizza Hut and said, "I want to earn $8 to $12 an hour for driving around and singing along with the radio. And I also want to be eligible for benefits." So they said, "Sure, as long as you drop off a few pizzas for us." So there you have it. Working as a Pizza Hut delivery driver pays great.
You gotta learn to live. You gotta learn to laugh.
And it clearly doesn't require an exceptional amount of talent. If you're 18 or older, have your own car, and meet certain requirements, you could be qualified to be a Pizza Hut delivery driver. For more information, stop by the Pizza Hut near you. Pizza Hut is an equal opportunity employer.
So we covered all of the same information, but did it in a different way, where you can picture this guy driving down the radio, or driving down the road, blaring his radio, singing horribly, and having a good time. Normally when you hear, I don't want to offend anyone here if this is your current job, but delivering pizzas doesn't always sound like the most glorious job. But if you rebrand it and make the promise that you get to drive around and listen to all your favorite tunes and sing like a fool, and get paid for it, you just have to deliver a couple pizzas. That sounds way more enticing than a couple words on a page where we're talking about being an equal opportunity employer. So, I've given a lot of theory. I want to give some real life example with our friend, our mentor, our champion of champions, Ross Johnson. Ross and I have gotten to know each other through LA2M, and we've worked together in a few different capacities. He's usually good for hearing my harebrained ideas and not laughing while I'm still in the room. So when I decided to come to him and talk to him about the idea of putting a web design firm on the radio, I'm sure he had some trepidation at first. Why would I put my web design firm on the radio? The one thing that I do well is make things that look really good and give you great results, and it's a very visual job. Why would I advertise in the one place where I can't show you what I'm doing? I'm taking away my bread and butter. Well, let's go back to my branding theory, figure out how we attack it. So problem number one, how do you showcase a product over the radio when a business is so focused on design? Shouldn't you show the design? Shouldn't you go into print and direct mail and email blasts and things like that? I argue, we're not going to focus on the goods. We're going to focus on the flow. We're going to show you. We're going to tell them why Ross is so knowledgeable. We want, the consumer wants a website that is good and it works and it gives you traffic, and the traffic turns into customers, and that's what Ross is good at. I know numerous people, especially small businesses, who have handed over their web design to, a friend of a friend, or a firm out of state, or someone that is constantly dropping the ball, and they're really not happy with their experience. They're not happy with the flow. That's where the disconnect is coming in. I'm sure that you can look at someone's portfolio and say, wow, that looks really great. Look at their case studies and say, wow, they got a lot of good results. But the disconnect comes in the flow where they're not, they don't feel like they're being heard. They don't feel like their ideas are being expressed. They don't feel like their vision is coming through and their web design firm's not doing it for them. So, bring in superhero Ross Johnson and his team at 3.7 Designs, and we attacked that head on. We decided on our brand promise. We used my secret formula that we're not supposed to talk about outside of this room. 3.7 Designs is a design firm who is accessible to their clients. It sounds really simple, but it's something that people drop the ball on, especially in the web design world, constantly. So if we can set them apart, kind of feel the pain of our audience, and address that pain and put a nice Band-Aid on it, maybe a 3.7 Design branding, we're already going to start building a little bit of that trust. Once we decided we'd make it, you've been burned before, and 3.7 Designs is the one to take care of you. They're local. They're right on Main Street. If you're picking up some lobster bisque and a dog, you can walk down the stairs and get some customers in your door next week. It's not someone who's in New York or in California or in God knows where that you don't know when you can get a hold of them or when to call them or when they're going to get back to you. Ross is here, so if you have a problem with him, you can walk down there, knock on his door, and get one of these for him. So the third step is that we need to deliver on the brand promise that we set out there. Once they walk in the door, we need to give them what they ask for. Plain and simple. It sounds really simple, but there's a lot of disconnect in these steps, and that's where people form distrust, and they say, I'd never work with them again. Oh, or if they hear someone saying, I'm looking for a good web design firm. Oh, don't work with XYZ. They never got back to me. We want Ross to be the trusted local web designer here. So I think I have another example of what we did with his radio campaign and how we tried to brand him on Ann Arbor's 107.1. Not yet.
Your website needs help. Your designer always drops the ball and can't get you the results you need. 3.7 Designs in downtown Ann Arbor is a local company that really digs into the inner workings of your business. Ross Johnson and his team will make sure that your website is taken care of. No more waiting for your designer. Working locally means that you get what you want, when you want it. 3.7 Designs can give you a more compelling website and help you turn visitors into customers. Visit the numbers 37designs.com to see what Ross and his team can do for you.
And so we've talked about all the things that we did, played the commercial for you. I think about a month into the campaign, I sent Ross a quick direct message on Twitter. I just wanted to see how it was working out for him. Have we started to see traffic? Have people come to you and say, oh, I heard you on the radio, it was so awesome. Any of these things that indicate that we are placed in the right time, we're placed in the right station, we're hitting the right audience, we're getting all of our variables to get Ross's message out there. And this is what Ross sent back to me. Got a handful of leads that directly reference the ads, and tons of people are telling me that they heard it. So yeah, great results, which made me really happy. So, I hope it's okay. Do people know your Twitter handle?
Okay. Not a secret.
Okay. Yeah. The secret formula we don't talk about. If you want to tweet Ross, go ahead and do it. So, I don't know if you want to give an update on how things have gone. I know we talked a couple weeks ago about. I won't put you on the spot, but he's had some good results. People have come in directly from radio, and we show that you can do a business that is almost entirely visual and promote it using audio and get great results. So what have we learned today? I hope if you don't take anything away from what I said, other than this guy talked about chocolate for a while, branding boils down to building trust. Don Draper wants advertising to build happiness. Kyle Stuef wants branding to build trust. So when people trust you, they remember you, and when they remember you, they buy things from you. It's as simple as that. Your brand must carry to every touch point. If your website talks about how amazingly local you are and how everything's handled in Ann Arbor, but when they call you, they get to a call center in Iowa or whatever, you're breaking that trust. You've made your promise and you've reneged on it right away. You need to make sure that every touch point is in tune with the brand promise that we've made. And since this was using radio to boost your brand, radio is built for delivering your brand. We talked about musical imaging, jingle packages, tone, all of these things that come into building your message and crafting your brand message over the airwaves. They all lend themselves extremely well to being on the radio. And I think that's it. I just want to keep the conversation going. You can catch me at any of these things, or you can call me, IM me, Skype me, do whatever. I answer everything. So thank you very much.
Yeah, we have time for questions.
Okay, if anyone has any questions, I can raise your hand and I can walk this over.
Talk a lot about the theater of the mind idea. Is there situations where it makes more sense to really try and tap into people's imagination versus other situations where maybe you want to be more straightforward?
Thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely. I think the example that we used for your business was a branded message that I crafted to introduce you to a new marketplace. So we needed all the pertinent information there. We needed to build some trust. We needed to build a tone and get people to buy in and at least have heard your name before. So when they hear 3.7 or they hear Ross Johnson, they're going to know where they heard it. Once you've established yourself, that's when you can start doing some fun stuff and doing more theater of the mind. You can do more of like a Pizza Hut example. They don't need to explain what Pizza Hut does, because they've already built the brand. We can get a little bit more creative, and I think that's going to be the next step for your campaign. On a personal level.
You talk a little bit about costs and if there's any strategy behind like email marketing. The best time to email is Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock. Is there any theory behind that for radio ads?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the question. What I like about where I work at Ann Arbor Radio is that we have 4 distinct brands. We have 4 different radio stations. We have Ann Arbor's 107.1, which is hyper-local, out in the community. That's a AAA format, which is adult album alternative. We also have W4 Country, which is our powerhouse station. It's our most listened to station. It's actually the most listened to station in Jackson County. Sports Talk 1050, which does all the U of M sports, as well as Tigers baseball and NASCAR races, anything sports, anything local, it's there. Business Talk 1290 with our friend Lucy and Lance in the morning. We have 4 distinctive brands, and the reason I bring that up is there's different costs associated with each. There's different costs for the different day parts. There's different costs for the different stations. So when you say, it's best to do email marketing Tuesday night. You'll get the most people to open it. When we built Ross's campaign, we were trying to talk to people who own businesses and people who would be in the market for web design services and want to do something better than they've done before. So what we did is we did a targeted approach on the weekends and the beginning of the week. So we run Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. The theory behind that, or my thought when I put it together, was that if we reach people on the weekends before they get into the work week, I don't know about you, but once I get to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I can't really think about anything else other than getting my to-do list down and getting to the weekend. We want to reach them when they are most acceptive of it and when they have time to actually think about it. If I talk to you on Saturday or Sunday about doing your redoing your website, my thought is that you would be more receptive to that than if I tried to call you on Thursday or Friday and talk to you about it. Is that better? Anyone else have a question?
Thanks, Kyle. Great talk. I'm just curious about cost comparison. So if I'm a company and I'm debating, well, I could do Google AdWords or I could do radio spots, do you have any type of thoughts on that, cost comparisons? I liked your example of the getting the people that aren't unemployed. I thought was a brilliant case for radio. I thought there was a few really good points, but the cost factor is of interest to me.
I think there's a pretty good correlation when we talk about classifieds, especially if we're looking for job seekers. I work with a couple clients where we do all of their job seeking exclusively online, or at least or not online, on the radio, and that's usually the pinnacle of what they do. I work at Washington Community College. Whenever they put up a new teaching position, if they decide to fire Ross, if they have someone that they need a part-time, full-time staff, they'll shoot me an email, say we need an ad up, and we'll run it until the deadline goes. It's been pretty good. As far as cost goes, I'm not sure about AnnArbor.com's new structure as far as pricing goes. I should because I blog there, but I know before when they were in Ann Arbor News, comparing the classifieds to running a week's worth of ads on one of our stations looking for the same amount of job. As far as cost per 1,000, the people that you're reaching, as an example, for all 4 of our stations, we have 200,000 unique listeners a week. It becomes pretty minimal. If you look at it as a straight price tag, you might get a little bit of sticker shock. But if you break it down as cost per 1,000, things like that, you're really looking at return on investment. If you're spending $1,000 on an ad campaign, but one of your website costs $7,000, if we get one person through the door, we've already paid for your campaign 7 times. So, yeah.
To kind of build off that question, I'm in HR, so we kind of have 2 target markets as opposed to people that we're recruiting that are not necessarily unemployed but looking for something.
Yeah.
And then clients that are working with us or prospective clients that we're going after that need staffing done. So how do you go about doing one ad and kind of encompass everything?
That would be the job of your lovely account executive. So we have kind of the business looking for job seekers and you looking for businesses. Well, they'd be 2 different campaigns. We can use Ross's commercial and Pizza Hut commercial as kind of 2 different examples where you're promoting yourself as a business that can get people the right prospective hires and things like that. Whereas if you're doing an actual ad on the air, you're trying to reach the people who say you are Derek, and Derek hates working in genetics. But he's so entrenched there that he can't leave. He would entertain other ideas if he heard about them. Just nodding along. He would entertain, ideas as they came along, but he's not necessarily out there hunting for them. That's what I really like about doing these kind of campaigns on radio is you reach the people who are already qualified. They are people who are in demand. It's not people who are chronically, always looking for a job and things like that. Sorry, it's long-winded. Do we have any more questions? All right. If not, thank you very much. And
Thank you very much, Kyle. Your parting gift is a box of chocolates. Okay, so now we're going to pass the mic around the room. And feel free to say who you are and what you do, and then pass the mic to a friend. And if you could please stand up when you do this, that'd be great.
Thank you. My name's Joe Bartonelli. I'm with Edward Jones. So hopefully that's a brand to have a positive image of and know that we help people with investments. That's my main task. Actually, this is the first time I've been here since the Christmas meeting, so I'd like to come on a more regular basis. But thank you.
My name is Mary Shindell, and I have over 20 years of experience in sales and marketing types of jobs. I'm seeking a new opportunity. Most of my work has been in high-tech, small entrepreneurial businesses. Hi, I'm Stacy from Dollar Bill Copy. We're a local digital print company, and I've actually been taking sales training at Sandler. You guys might know Mike, who goes around. And it's really interesting because I've learned more in the past 5 weeks that getting customers is not about reading sales books. It's about reading the people. And when you say, Kyle, about radio is a different form that they hear and they keep in their head, and you have to think that there's audio people and visual people. So when you send a mailer, you hit the visual people. When you have a radio ad, you hit the audio people. And then there's all these different personalities, and it all mixes in to make customers come to see you. So you have to hit all of that. And one of the other amazing things we learned is tone is what percentage? Huge. 85% is tone. They don't even hear what's coming out of your mouth. 83%. Yeah. So so all that has to be mixed into your marketing campaign so that you hit everybody in the right way. That's what I learned.
Great. Hi, my name is Hans Stahl. The company is Green Technologies. We are here in Ann Arbor. Renewable energy, wind and solar, with a strong emphasis on energy saving systems. I have lots of information available, starting with what can the average homeowner do to save on energy. A system costs about $500 is a good start, and from there on up. So, thank you.
Hi there, I'm Cynthia Richardson with People Focus, and People Focus helps you with putting together your HR foundation for your small business. If you're finding that adding or managing your employees is becoming very stressful, then turn to People Focus and we can make having employees fun again.
Hi, my name is Lev Wood, and I work for a company called MS2 Midwestern Software Solutions here in town. And what we do for a living is we design web-based transportation database systems. A little arcane. If one of you wants to buy one, that would be awesome. Come by and see me afterwards.
Hi everyone, I'm Megan with the Ann Arbor Chamber. On June 1st, we will officially be the Ann Arbor Ypsilanti Regional Chamber, so we're very excited about that. Yeah. Thank you.
My name is Christine Adams. I work with Eastern Michigan University Marketing, Communications, and Athletics, working on boosting spirit and attendance on campus at our sporting events. And I'm also here as part of a Google practicum I'm doing and being certified in their AdWords program through Eastern, and as part of the course, we're required to do in-person marketing and networking to increase ourselves as a brand. So this is one of my monthly events.
I'm Dave DeWitt from Advanced Marketing Partners in Livonia. We offer print marketing services to businesses in the Detroit metropolitan area.
I'm Andrew King. I am a small prototyping design company, but I'm actually here for WCBN, the student station on campus. We know all about obscure music, but we don't know anything about marketing. And we want to get a new transmitter, so we've got to raise some money, so I'm trying to get some tips.
Hi, my name is Tom Collins. I work for Ringo & Associates. I heard about LA2M from research marketing practicum at Eastern. I just graduated, April, from Eastern. Thanks.
I'm Peter Clay with Parrish Advertising, where simple is different and different is good. And I also spent 12 years in the radio business and kind of came here thinking, maybe I'll catch him in saying something wrong, but Kyle, you did a great job, great presentation.
Hi, I'm Megan McCann with Search Ad Marketing. We are a done-for-you Google AdWords service provider.
Good afternoon, I'm Kathy Szynski with RJ Conlon Marketing and Design. I know we're helping a lot of folks right now with their trade show booths. If you need anything done from complete rebranding campaigns to single piece work, feel free to give us a call. Thanks.
Thanks, Kathy. I'm Tom Bobbany with Mobile Exhibit Specialists. I come every other week or so. I enjoy the lectures. I'm also in the trade show booth industry, but what I do is take your trade show booth, put it on wheels, and drive it right to your customer's front door. So we do a lot of marketing in parking lots.
Hi, I'm Alex Fisher. My company's Commercial Progression, and I specialize in web design, kind of like the example up there, except we focus on a system called Drupal. If you're not familiar with it, it's one of the fastest growing open source content management systems out there on the web.
I'm Roger Rail. I help you solve your information problems. And if anybody knows any teachers or educators, I'm teaching a course on Google Earth again in June. That'll be directed toward teachers and educators, how to use it in their coursework next. And that's through WCC.
My name's Mara Kimmel, and what is my title? Sales associate, mortician at night, and I work for Ross, new hire, so I'm looking forward to seeing more faces in Ann Arbor. And anything else you say?
I'm Ross Gadsden. I think Kyle did a better job introducing myself.
Hi everyone, I'm Ken Burker. I'm the local owner of the Entrepreneur Source. I'm a career transition and business coach. My clients come to me when they've been looking for a job, and I'm sure all of you know people who are out of work and they've given up on the job market and they think business ownership may be the right ticket for them. I work with them, help them find opportunities that meet their specific goals, needs, and expectations. I also work with small businesses that need to grow the top line and bottom line.
Hi everybody, I haven't been here in a while. I'm Carol Cam. I own I Sold It, the eBay consignment store down in the Colonnade Center. At least for the next month or so, we've been really busy and we're actually moving to bigger space over on South Industrial in the Colonial Lanes Plaza in the next month or so. So look for that announcement coming shortly. I also wanted to just give another plug for the WXW event on Friday. We've got almost 200 people registered for that. It's going to be just an awesome day with workshops and exchange sessions and just lots of networking and opportunities. So if you're interested at all, go to the website. I think it's wxwbusiness.org.com and sign on up.
Hi everybody, I'm Eric Rodriguez, Client Services Manager with Ingenix Digital Marketing.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Scott from WEMU, which is one of the local NPR affiliates. And I worked with Kyle at 107.1 and that group station for a long time. And my boss wanted me to come here to see if what was going on over there. So and I have to agree that everything you said, I completely believe, and I think that Kyle has a complete understanding of branding, and it starts with the way people feel about your company when they hear the name. So you did a great job.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Prudhomme with Malice & Associates out of Troy, so I drove a little bit to get here, but I worked in radio for a couple of years also in promotions, not in the sales side, so understanding a little bit more of what my company can do with, like I kind of asked my question, 2 different markets, one of looking for people that need jobs and then companies that need people, so you did a great job, thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Carter Sherline from Print Studios, and I do commercial, editorial, and portrait photography.
Hi everybody, my name is Derek Maribon with Ingenix Digital Marketing. We make all your internet dreams come true. Yeah, I'm actually having radio advertising envy after hearing Ross's ads, so that's pretty awesome. But yeah, we do websites too, and we do like internet type things. So Megan Crosby, come on down. So anyways, thanks everybody for coming. Megan's going to close the meeting because Dee is busy, right? Dee's busy, so here's Megan.
All right, so join us next week. The fabulous Marissa Smith from the Whole Brain Group will be presenting WordPress, turn your website into a social media engine. You do not want to miss that.
Thanks for coming, everybody. See you next week. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lunch and Arbor Marketing. For those of you watching.